What's up, guys? Rick, it's too early for this. Taking off my shoes. All right, how's it going? See if I remember how to do this. I think this is the longest it's been since I started streaming that I haven't streamed. So, yeah. Just started with a week where I had to travel for work. Then we had a couple bike trips planned, and then I had a couple events on Tuesday. And it was just kind of like hectic as late summer kicked in and just kind of, I guess, took a break. So, yeah, we're back. There'll be definitely, there's one more week of travel coming up, which I'll get into in this live stream in a minute. But, unless I have to work on Tuesday, I'm going to try and keep it weekly again. And then if it is, do I have a shoot on Tuesday, try and move the stream to that Thursday. So try and get back in the habit of it. As I mentioned in some of the posts about this, this stream is the same as all the other ones have been, but I'm working on upgrading some of the equipment. Dave's not here tonight, but with his help, we've got a couple ideas where we're trying to figure, we're coming up with a system so he could also be pulling the stuff up. So I'm not messing everything up while I'm streaming. So it'd be, trying to make them a little better. So this break wasn't like a total break from paying attention to what's happening over here. A couple other things I'm working on with the live chat and stuff like that. So the other thing about the live streams I wanted to mention before I get into saying what's up to everybody and chatting is I'm going to not always leave them listed right after they end. They'll end up public eventually. I know some people do like to watch the live streams after they're over. The majority of people don't. And I know some people tune in and watch half of it, and then some people finish watching them after they go to bed and watch them in the morning. But the thing with YouTube's recommendations is it seems to always recommend the latest video from someone. And like tomorrow's a day where I've got the last video in the Michigan series coming out, and I'm putting a decent amount of work into that, and I want that one to be what gets recommended, not just one of these where we're chatting live, which to me is the important part of the live chats. So I think what I'm going to do sometimes is keep them unlisted until there's like a gap and when I don't have a video coming out and then put them public. But if you want to watch them, you always can. You just need to go to the link in the Discord. So, because if you don't know how YouTube works, an unlisted video is still on YouTube. You just need a link to get to it. It just doesn't show up in your search or on my page for that moment. So that's going to be something I'm going to do from time to time when I have a video that I want to be the one promoted that comes out, just because, I put work into those videos and I'd rather YouTube's algorithm favors those over the live streams. So yeah, if you're not in the Discord, check it out. Like I said, it's a glorified message board basically. It's not a, there's no salesy thing going on. There aren't even ads there. So it's just, you need an email and a password, and it's, started doing it originally just so we could show people's bike photos on the stream. But then it's become this great community where people help each other out with bike information. And this is also leads nicely into the meetups and events thing. That's where we post them. So a lot of times I'll make a video, and I mentioned this in the Pittsburgh one, and people will be like, I wish I knew you were doing that. And it's like, well, we posted about it publicly. It was known about. So a couple things we have coming up that I want to get into. Again, the Discord is just the best way I've found to communicate. Not everyone's on Instagram. Not everyone's on Facebook. YouTube posts, I use them, but those are still subject to the algorithm. So YouTube only shows posts, same thing to people with the algorithm. And I could tell they get less views, like less people see posts. It depends on what platform you're looking at. If you're watching YouTube, if you're like me, I watch most of my YouTube videos on a Fire TV. That's never going to show you posts. So anyways, a couple things I wanted to knock out and just information because it's been a while. And there's one more thing I just wanted to let you guys know, because people who tune into the streams tend to be the most engaged. And so I want people to understand this one thing that's changing on YouTube is beyond my control. So when my channel got monetized, it coincided right with the same month where YouTube started saying they'll put ads on any video, even if you're not monetized. It didn't mean they would do it on every video, but it means they had the right to. So even though I knew I wouldn't have been making money on YouTube ads right away because my views weren't that high when I got monetized, I just turned them on because it's like, well, I might as well get a cut, right? If YouTube's going to throw ads on them anyways. they've just changed this other thing where I was always the creator, not just me, anyone is able to select the kind of ads that go on there. And I don't mean like, I just mean like skippable video ads, mid-roll ads. I've only ever had skippable video ads on my videos. There's none on the live streams until after the fact. But for the regular videos, they're always skippable. They're taking that choice away from us. They're selling the whole thing as the idea that, you know, and they're right, you know, their algorithms will be better at picking which ads people will be willing to watch for how long and when. I'm a little confused on mid-roll. I'm hoping I'm still able to keep mid-roll ads out of my videos. I hate that idea. Like, I hate when you're watching a 10-minute video and there's a mid-roll ad. I think I'm still able to keep those off. But so, if you go to watch one of my videos and there's a full ad that you can't skip, this will be coming up in the next month. It's not my choice. And YouTube, you know, like I said, they're selling it as simplifying it for us creators and it'll make everyone more money. And they're right. You know, their algorithm is going to be better at picking ad duration than I would be. The whole point is I don't care because on the breakdown, I know I've told members all this stuff, but I might make $200 a month on AdSense, like the advertisements on YouTube. Channel memberships are way more, and super thanks that you guys do, and there's like super comment type things now and super chats, all that stuff. And then like the stickers and the t-shirts, that makes more than AdSense. And I'm not a full-time YouTuber, as almost all of you guys know anyways. So I don't care about like an extra $10 to make people's experience worse. But I think what's really going on is YouTube knows if they use their algorithm across all of YouTube, they're going to make millions, probably tens of millions, hundreds of millions more by not letting us be the ones who decide how long the ads show up for. We do still have control. Like, I have it so you will never see a political ad on my channel. Like, we're able to choose like topics we don't want to show up on our channel, but we're losing the ability to select pre-roll and post-roll and how long they are. So that's unfortunate, but it's just a fact, and I just want you guys to know that's not a choice that I made. So I think they're also trying to push people into YouTube Premium, which I do pay for because I don't want to watch any ads anymore. And I know on certain platforms, mobile ad blockers work. I guess they don't work on mobile. I don't know. I've never used one, but whatever. Like I've always said, when someone's like, well, I use ad blockers, does that bother you? I'm like, no, it's probably costing me $5, you know? So anyways, knock that out. I want to hop in and say what's up to everybody. But yeah, since it's been so long, just some, I don't know, housekeeping, I guess, news type stuff. So yeah, what's up, Dimitri? What's up, Large Marge? Rick and Blackball. Jacob, how's it going? Oh, Jacob said he's opening with his big alt cyclist, his biggest alt cycling achievement yet. Finally bought a B17. Nice. Rick, thanks for the welcome back. Yeah, I don't know. I did because I reused the settings from the last stream and I didn't look at the date, but it's been over a month, right, since we've live streamed at least, I think. So, Vincent, how's it going? Frank, what's up? Hey, Sam. Sam said, nice shirt. I got to meet Sam at Hodag, which is the shirt I'm wearing. So, yeah, and I think I did. I don't know if I said that, but tomorrow will be the last video in that series, which was one of the prettiest rides we did. Hodag itself was like the most fun because hanging out, meeting people like Sam and stuff, and just riding with everybody was a blast. What's up, Nathan Mace? Hey, William LeBron. How's it going? Chris McCallum. Jacob said you go on so many exotic bike trips. Exotic? Yeah, the UP did feel, exotic's not the right word, but very different. Really different vibes up there, which I really liked, and into Wisconsin. But hey, David, how's it going? Me and David had passed each other on the path and waved, but I also got to meet him last week at Akron Bike Party. We rode pretty much the second half together and nerded out, so it was cool to get to meet him too. Oh yeah, Dimitri, if it's the video is in a playlist, it'll show up. Eric said, glad you made it to the UP. You've done the Grand Island loop before. Yeah, I'm excited for the video. It rained the whole time we were in Grand Island, but it was mostly a drizzle, and it was still stunningly beautiful. So Grand Island's an island in Lake Superior by Munising, Michigan, just awesome. My photos are actually my favorite part of it. So if you're on Instagram, I've already posted photos and then on my Flickr as well. But not that anyone else is on Flickr. But hey, Jay Dandy, how's it going? Dylan, what's up? Dura Ace member for 31 months. Jeez, we've been doing this for a while. That's what I was thinking too. I was on my ride, so I rode to a photo shoot tonight. Excuse me, just downtown at the university, so like 8 mile round trip. But I was thinking about that with the streams, like the two COVID winners. I mean, it was almost every single Tuesday and Thursday. It was really rare to miss one. But with the world back to normal and me being a freelancer, it's harder to stick to the schedule. So it was. I miss doing this and I miss chatting, but in the same way, when I had just decided I'm taking a break because like I said, most of it was forced, but there was a couple other Tuesdays where we just needed to get work done on the building. My roof was leaking, and me and Dave needed to be up on the roof. Number of things, just that summer maintenance type stuff. I was like, it was nice to have a little break without the just. It's like I said, I'm not burned out. It's not like a lot of like anything like that, but there is just that internal pressure. Okay, like 8:30, I need to start setting up just to take my mind out of it for a little while, which I think everyone has to do with certain things that you choose to do once in a while. Oh, a Browns Facebook post. Yeah, I actually watched the Browns game last night because I realized my digital antenna could get it. Because I don't get, I think I get like one of the three networks here, and turned out ABC works out. I think I've also, it's because I moved my office where my TV is since the last time I tried to watch anything on that antenna. So maybe the other side of the building just works better. But suckling on that YouTube teat. Yeah. 200 a month, I'm rich. Yeah, so I do better that, like I'm saying, on YouTube overall, but I'm just saying, like, for me, AdSense doesn't, like, pay my bills, and I'm not complaining. I love that YouTube pays me money. YouTube is the best social media out there. Like, they'll pay creators way more than anyone else. Um, I'm just saying, for me, $5 to $10 is not worth having to make people sit through ads. I mean, if all of a sudden they implement this and I start making $1,000 a month, then I'll come back and say, hey, you guys could watch full ads. Like I could, but that's not the case, and it's not going to be the case for a long time. So as long as it's not for Blue Chew or Simple Greens, yeah. Tim Scrooge McDuck swimming in it, Nathan. Yeah. Oh, Shane B. The Bailey's video did come out. You might have just missed it, but it should be in the it's in the bike rides and travels playlist. So it's the one right before the two Michigan videos. So yeah. Hey, what's up, Raymond? How's it going? Mile High, how's it going? Mile High has gotten a couple YouTube videos out lately too. On both channels, your bike channels, and then you got a bunch of music videos out too that I watched, the live ones. So. Oh, Chris, you put a new B17 on your Niner single speed, right? Nice. I was riding my single speed. I have a Brook saddle that I actually traded Kenny from Missing Falls for the first GoPro I ever bought, a GoPro 5. So, oh, Raymond said, yeah, Sepkus. That was a interesting Volta. Oh, Jacob said you thought about moving to the Twin Cities, so the Midwest videos have been nice. Yeah, I was really hoping that we would. So when we were kind of making the plans to go to the UP and over to Wisconsin, I asked Erin, I'm like, how much farther is Minneapolis? And she's like, it's a lot farther. And I think it was 4 more hours, which with all the driving we did doesn't seem like a big deal till you remember it's 8 more hours for us to go out and back. So we were already doing a lot of driving on that trip. But I do really want to get out there. Like, um, as I met people out there, I met a number of people from Minneapolis, a couple who knew the channel as well, and then we have regulars in here from over there. So it's like I really want to get out there and ride. It's just the bike scene is so big out there that this channel, I think, probably after Northeast Ohio, the second biggest demographic would be the Minneapolis area. So, hey, what's up, Christopher Webb? Oh, nice. Thanks, Large. Large dropped a link to the Bailey's video. Blackwell Chris said you haven't posted to your Flickr account since 2009. One of the reasons I keep it going too is I use Flickr to host the photos for my blog. Flickr's really good at being able to share photos with like really good like either embeds or hyperlinks. So it's a great place to have them. It's almost like backup cloud for me as well now. So my edited like hobby photos, when I say hobby, I mean just my non-professional work, is all in one place. So if my building burns down and all my hard drives go and everything goes wrong and all my other backup fails, OneDrive, Microsoft somehow goes out of business or their server farm goes down, I have another spot that has a lot of my stuff up there. So uh, Brett asked if I have any road cycling recommendations in Michigan, and I don't because we have literally we went twice this summer, so I've only ridden in Michigan twice, and we did the North Country Traverse, and I guess we did do road the second 2 days up the coast of Michigan. So I guess if you checked out my videos from around mid-July, there would be a Strava that has like us riding up through Sleeping Bear Dunes. We really enjoyed that. The shoulders were wide, so but that's out Traverse City area, Sleeping Bear Dunes, Lake Michigan area. So but that's it. That's all I've done was after 3 days on the North Country Traverse in the woods, which was like mountain biking, bike packing for real. We had 2 days going up the coast, and we really enjoyed the riding, and it was road riding. But I would definitely look at if you have Strava, use Strava heat maps. That's great for finding road rides and stuff like that. But there are a number of people in the Discord and who have commented on the videos about places to ride. But yeah, my riding in Michigan is skewed almost all towards gravel and double track and stuff like that. I really like Ann Arbor, by the way. Um, been up there now 4 times. So, and even when we are coming back from doing the North Country Traverse loop, we stopped in Ann Arbor for lunch. So, walked around a little bit. Dimitri said roof stream. I will be more flexible with stream location, and I have an idea for one because I did buy a new laptop. Um, my old laptop was getting long in the tooth, and I couldn't really use it for streaming anymore. I did it a couple times when I was traveling from hotel rooms, but yeah, it's not very good. And now I have a new one, and so might not from the roof, but I have a couple ideas. I might even get it into here in a minute because I do want to share like an event we have coming up, and I was thinking of live streaming the whole thing. So thanks, Bob. I'm glad you've been appreciating the videos. I've been happy with them. The videos I've been making. I always wish I had a little more time to make them a little like my voiceovers. I wish I had a little time to take out more of the ums and uh, I noticed a couple phrases I say over and over and over again and a little more editing time to clean them up. What I've been trying to do with the last couple is just take more time as I make the voiceover. Like, don't try and do it in one shot. Stop, do this topic, stop, do this topic. But it's one of the things of being a hobbyist YouTuber that's frustrating. You just don't ever get to do it. They just don't have the. I don't have the time to do it on the level I quite want to, but still try my best, and I'm glad when people enjoy them. So, Kevin said the photos from the island looked awesome. Yeah, even in that like sometimes though I was gonna say even in that rain they looked awesome, but I think sometimes a grayish day can actually add to the photos in a way because like with the drizzle like the greens look really green and the water in Superior is just so beautiful. I don't think it really affected it that much. While we're talking about it, I could actually even pull some of them up. Now everything wants me to log back in because I haven't even turned this computer on for so long. Yeah, this computer, Microsoft suggested I use a fingerprint. This computer does not have that ability, bud. Well, it's not loading anyway. Anyways, get back to the chat while that loads. Flickr's not loading for some reason. Oh, it's trying to give me a cookie. thing. Maybe that's why. There we go. Oh yeah, I'll just pull this up to demonstrate how incredible it looked out there while I chat. Wow, what is going on? It's Flickr. Everything else is running smooth, I believe. So, yeah, I have a great signal. It's just Flickr. But yeah, look at that water. That's Lake Superior. I mean, the water looks like the tropics, right? Anyways. Chris said, miss the Drunk Tim live streams. Yeah. I do have my first pumpkin beer of the season in here. It's a Wolf's Ridge, which is a Columbus, Ohio brewery. It's called Slice. It's actually pretty good. It's not overboard with the spice, which is what I like. I like it to be mellow. Thanks, Richard. Kevin's a Bears fan. Bears are the new Browns. Browns are the old Browns. Rick, obviously an Eagles fan out there in Philly. Oh, Jacob, you're going to move again, huh? You said girlfriend is looking to start a new career. Pittsburgh, Minneapolis, or Fort Collins. 3 very different places. Yeah, especially Fort Collins. Doing the big mound thing. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, you're already close to Pittsburgh, so. Chris said you have a single speed with 26 inch. Well, it'd be 26-inch rims, right? Would gravel tires that skinny make much of a difference on the gravel or dirt? Not really, not unless it's wet. So if you have places you ride that are wet, then some tread will matter. But on dry gravel, gravel slips on gravel, dirt slips on dirt. So to an extent, like, it doesn't make a difference. The other thing, though, to keep in mind is you're got a little more flat proof. Like, you'll have a little more flat resistance if you have some knobs to keep the tire off as opposed to some slicks. Just depends on the brand you get. But yeah, if you're going to ride in the rain at all or in the mud at all, then a gravel King would still be better than a slick. But Unbalanced said I spent all that YouTube money on a laptop. No, I spent a lot of my a lot of my professional money on the laptop. So, but I did it in a way because I'm also expecting the laptop not just to be my laptop, but to be my desktop because it's an M1 Max. And when I watch all these reviews, and I'm not going to go down the whole Apple thing tonight right now, this would be an after 10 o'clock drinking thing, but I'm watching channels where they're editing 8K raw footage on these laptops, and I'm struggling to edit my GoPro footage on my $5,000 PC, and I'm like, yeah, found a really good deal on a Mac because B&H's 50th anniversary, and I made the jump. I barely used it. I'm still just trying to figure out my way around the OS. I've been watching YouTube videos about how to use a Mac because I've been a Windows user since Windows 3.2. I've been a Microsoft user since MS-DOS. So, I mean, before there was even a graphics operating system, a graphical, whatever. I don't know. Brett said, I don't think anyone is going to complain about your voiceovers. You're being overly self-critical. I appreciate that. Yeah. I guess I hold myself to a high standard. And I don't mean that to sound cocky either. I do video work professionally. And some of the stuff I do in my voiceovers and publish on YouTube, I wouldn't do for someone else if I was doing their video professionally. I guess that's kind of the thing. That's probably why I have that lens to view it through. But thanks, D'Amico. Oh, glad you're in here, too. If you had said something earlier, I missed you. So, over under on what time the Canon utility goes out. I don't think it's the software. I think it is this older 5D4 that I used like crazy. But, yeah. The other thing is, if I can't get this desktop upstairs to work, we probably won't have many problems down here because I'll be using the most overbuilt streaming computer of all time for streaming eventually. So, thanks, Blackwell. I appreciate that. So, there are certain ones like there are certain YouTube videos like where me and Aaron are talking, like the one like why did Aaron buy a hardtail? Like that, I chopped that up so much. I took out all of our ums and pauses, and there are times when I like make a video and I have like I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I have 2 hours in editing those the voices to, but I'm trying my best to make it seem like there's no editing in there. So even when I talk to the camera, which I haven't done a video like that in a while, that's why I always put the B-roll in. I'm covering. I mean, it makes the video more interesting, obviously, to have footage of a ride while you're talking about it or whatever you're talking about. But behind that, like where that stuff pops up is where I'm fixing all the mistakes I made. As I talked about on the live stream before, I do not like jump cuts. And no offense to other YouTubers who use them, I mean, it's just a very common thing, and I don't think people notice them anymore. But when someone's talking to the camera, I don't like when it just cuts. I always cover up the cuts. So again, that just comes from the fact that I do it also professionally. I think it has an effect on the aesthetic I like personally. So. Bao, you said you made a few YouTube videos and the editing was brutal. Your day job keeps you too busy. Yeah, that's the thing. People, when they get into making YouTube videos, they or decide they want to try. That's the thing people realize. Hey, Rick, where's your over under? It just stopped. Oh, it came back. Huh. That was weird. It, it froze for just a second. But yeah, it's the editing. Uh, it does take, if you're going to talk to the camera, that takes practice. And like I said, I mess up all the time and I just cover it up with cuts. But yeah, if it's just a bike ride video, it's the editing that takes time. I only turn the camera on when something interesting happens. But Rick said, in the fall, you drink Ortlieb with pumpkin puree. Happy freaking autumn. Oh, Jacob, you said West Virginia is in a huge deficit. It's all your friends are losing their jobs and moving every day. Yeah. The University of Akron has kind of already done most of their cuts, but they had those issues too. It actually sounds like it's back kind of on the come up out here, which is good for me because they're a big client. Derek, I've ridden bits of the Empire State Trail, the Erie Canal Trail. So we did, and I've got videos about all of it. We did Rochester or Buffalo to Rochester, spent the night at an Airbnb and rode back. So I've done that section. Then we've been to Syracuse and Albany. So we just rode little bits around there. And then last fall, when we went out to Nutmeg, we also rode down the OCA, which goes from Old Croton into New York City. But on the way back, we rode the Empire Trail, whatever the actual, what's part of the Empire Trail back up to where our car was. So yeah. So you just did 420 miles of that. Yeah, I want to do more of it. I want to do more of the Empire Trail for sure. When I think we're going to be staying in the Hudson Valley, so I might when we go out to Connecticut this fall. And that's one of the other things I was going to talk about. We're going to do Higher Ground, Hundo, which is in Johnstown, PA, and then go and just not come home because Nutmeg is the next week. And I think we're going to spend that week in the Hudson Valley. So I'll have the chance to ride more of the Empire Trail, the north-south section between New York and Albany pretty much is what we're looking at. So Sam Diaz said, let's talk about apples. I haven't bought any good local fall apples yet. I mean, because there's late summer good apples too, but I need to. I love apples. I like hard ciders. I like regular cider. I usually just don't buy it because it's so much sugar, and I don't keep sweets around here because I just can't keep my hands off them. But I do love apples, and I worked on a farm for a long time. We usually do a apple pie ride every year, and then there's also a orchard out the other direction that we go to that has a cidery too. So they have hard cider and then all kinds of fall snacks. So there will be some apple footage on the channel for sure. Muskrat said, check out, what's up, Muskrat? Check out Split Rock Lighthouse on Lake Superior, one of the most beautiful locations on the lake. I bet there's a lot, because even where we were, we didn't get to Painted Rocks, which is right there, and supposed to be absolutely stunning as well. But yeah, I definitely want to go back up that way. Um, I'd be surprised if the bike tour we did next year wasn't in Michigan. I think that's going to be a place we get to a lot. Like I said in the last, did I say that in the last video or did I say it in the one that comes out tomorrow? I don't remember, but I was saying this to my dad last night because I was or Sunday, because I was with my parents. I'm like, why did we spend our childhood driving all the way to the Atlantic Ocean when we could have been going to Lake Michigan? Because I think it's, we're talking about Superior here, but even closer, just, over to Lake Michigan, like where I was talking about Sleeping Bear Dunes, like all up and down the coast there was just so beautiful. And then you also have the woods and the cabins, which I don't know. I love the ocean. I love the beach, but I don't know. I think now at this point in my life, I would take the combination because a lot of like the beach towns on the Atlantic, it's just the beach. There's the boardwalk, there's the tourist stuff, but when you go to some place like the UP or Michigan or Wisconsin, you also have the woods and the cycling and all that. So, yeah. Oh, was traveling through's latest video on those trails? Because I'm 2 or 3 behind on traveling through. Need to check out his latest. And the one thing I know he made a video with the gunks in it, which is on our list for when we go to the Hudson Valley. I think we're going to be near there. So I definitely need to check out his later videos. Well, like I said, I've been kind of nerding out on the PC to Mac thing and then keeping up on the, just whatever. Just been busy. So not watching quite as much YouTube either. Jay Dandy said, PC to Mac is just like riding a bike with different geometry. You get used to it pretty quick. Yeah, I think I will. It's plus the other thing is, I would say about PC and Mac is they've converged over the last number of years, where Mac it seems like has started to lean back towards making stuff a little more professional in some of the features people like from Windows, and PC has become more and more graphic and more Mac-like with making stuff more simple to do. So I don't think it's as big of a jump as it used to be. Like I remember when I was in college and I like hated my roommate's Mac. Like I'm like I can't even, and like even I don't know. There must have been here at the studio when I first started working here. The other photographer who owned it at the time was a Mac guy, and I'm like, and these were even, what do you call those? I just don't know my Mac lineup, but he had like the powerful ones, and I would just try and do simple things, and it was impossible. And even I've only had the laptop for 2 days, and I haven't done any real work on it. But I sat there with it last night and did a couple things, and I'm like, and I installed all my Adobe apps, and it wasn't really a problem. So, yeah, they've become more similar than different, I think. So, Sam said Tim has done the computer equivalent of switching his bike to SRAM. Yeah, that's a bridge too far, though. Well, drop our mechanical SRAM. I mean, there's no way. No way. The bike would have to be completely free, or SRAM would have to pay me. Yeah, the thing I am already blown away by, though, is because since Microsoft stopped making decent phones, I have been an iPhone user because their stuff works better with DJI and the Canon cameras. And the integration between that Mac laptop and this, like, I didn't even know about some of it. I mean, everyone knows about AirDrop and stuff like that. But sitting there with the Mac open last night and my phone on my lap because I had just been looking at something, and the fact that they just, like, I wanted to see what the webcam on the Mac laptop looked like, and then how the option just pops up to use the cameras on this instead. And I press the button, and instantly my laptop is showing me these cameras, like stuff like that, the handoff, the universal clipboard. I mean, that integration, which I've kind of read about, but I just didn't realize it was that level of just passing websites back and forth, copying and pasting stuff back and forth. It's, yeah, if you're an iPhone user and you have a Mac laptop, it's pretty impressive. Anyways. Shane B said, "Don't be too critical about your edits. We're all here, aren't we?" Yeah. Next one. Dylan said, "Next one by SRAM Axis." Yeah. I do. Since this is the first stream I've done in a while without Dave, I have to say I miss having someone let me know how like far behind in the chat I am and stuff like that. But hey, Yinzer, what's up? Too busy working on bikes to talk about bikes. Hey, that's no apologies. Muskrat, I like Empire apples. Yeah. Jacob said, as someone from Maine, you would go to the Great Lakes now over the coast. Yeah. Maine probably feels more similar to the Great Lakes though than like, the resort areas we went to. We went to Ocean City, Maryland a lot. So we were more in that like Maryland, New Jersey type area. Carolinas once in a while. Which Carolinas are beautiful, but there's something about the ocean. I'm not going to ever put down the ocean, but to take a family trip like we were still doing in the big station wagon, I mean, this looked like, the movie Vacation is how we traveled back then. So it would have been much simpler to take everyone to a place where we could have had a cabin and just groceries and all that kind of stuff. So. Oh, Boss said Salem, West Virginia has an apple butter festival coming up, and it's right on the North Bend Rail Trail. Me and Aaron went to an apple butter stirring festival it was near Coshocton, Ohio, a couple years ago. So, well, I guess that was pre-pandemic now, so more than a couple years ago. But oh, Jacob, there you go. You just said it. It sounds like you need to get up to the mid-coast of Maine if you want woods next to the ocean. Yeah, I have a friend who lives in Maine on an island in Maine near what's the big city on the southern end of Maine? Portland, Maine. And she sent me these pictures of the rocks and the woods, and it looks stunning. It really does. But that's way more of a hike than getting out to Lake Michigan for us. So. Shane B said, being from the Buckeye State, I'm surprised you're welcome in Wolverine country. It's funny because my family is very sports oriented. So like even my dad, when we were talking on Sunday, was talking a little bit about Michigan, and they went to Michigan this summer too. So I think that's why we were also relating about it. And when I said that, he was like, he kind of had that hesitation of, yeah, I really love Michigan. And it's like, yeah, don't let sports ruin your same. It's the same way I feel about Pittsburgh. I like grew up like hating Pittsburgh. I only hate the Steelers and their former rapist quarterback, but like yeah, it's like no, I love Pittsburgh. I don't like the rival sports team. Who cares? Like, what a way to live your life to not we don't give a damn about the whole state of Michigan. It's type stuff. I love Ann Arbor. Ann Arbor is probably I mean, if I had to move to Columbus or Ann Arbor, no offense, Dylan, I would probably pick Ann Arbor. But that's if no friends or anything were involved. Columbus would be my choice because I have a bunch of friends down there on that level, and it's closer to home. But Ann Arbor is a nicer place. Anywho. Oh, Sean Anderson said Mac for you is all about keyboard shortcuts. I've already been learning those, like even in 2 days, but there are just things like in Windows you don't need them. Like when you close a window, it closes the program. With Mac, I've learned that Command Q real quick because hitting a red X on a program doesn't close it. It's still running. It's really strange they do that. I don't think there's any argument for that either, that behavior. Like, because in a Windows window, you have the minimize and then you have an X. Why not just have that? But it's all nuance. You get used to whatever you use. So. Sean said no SRAM, same. I really using other SRAM, like I've used electronic SRAM, even on the gunner right here. When I first borrowed it from Otis, he had it set up with electronic shifting, and it was great. And I've never used their drop bar shifting, but electronic. But from what everyone says, it's great. It's the mechanical drop bar stuff that I don't like. Even their flat bar mechanical. When I've tried that out on bikes that Otis has had at Dirty River, didn't really bother me. It's pretty intuitive. I just don't like that double press on the drop bar levers. I don't. It just doesn't make sense to me. I would take microshift over SRAM, but for drop bar. Oh, Yinzer was talking about your 10-year-old MacBook Pro, and that's where Rick has. His is just starting to be a problem now, he said. But yeah, 10 years. I have never had a PC run 10 years for me. We'll see how I do with the Mac, too, because the phrase power user, but I know Dylan's already a couple years deep into his M1 Mac, and he said it's still running like it's new. So I think that is a big deal. It saves you money over time. That was the whole thing with my new desktop. I got it custom built, and it's built of high quality components, and that's what I thought I was going to benefit from. I thought I was making a 6-7 year investment. I don't know if there's just something faulty with this one because it's a really reputable company. I've heard it advertised, or not advertised, but like legit, like YouTubers talk about this company. And in the middle of the pandemic, when they could have been selling these graphics cards for 3 times what they were worth, they were still building you custom PCs. So I had a ton of faith in them. Their customer service is all about helping me, and it's just not helping. So yeah, I literally think I'm this giant tower with, like literally, it was like a $5,000 computer is going to be replaced by I got a deal on it, but a $2,500 M1 Mac Max. I'm going to find out. So I had to try Apple Silicon. I had to try and find out if I could, because I'm just frustrated every day trying to edit. So Rick, you said you like Rehoboth Beach. That to explain that would take a lot of work. Oh, you got me on Portland, yeah. Oh, Yenzer, you're up in Portland, Maine. I must have seen that. Yeah. It's funny because the person I know, his dad moved out there in the 80s, and she grew up there and kind of grew up between Akron and there. And when she would go out there, she was saying back then it was really backwoods and very not like hippie-ish. It was only like during the summer and tourism season and stuff. But Chris said sports is a weird tribal thing you don't understand. Yeah, it's interesting to me growing up that way. I still totally do. Like I flipped on the Browns game and I'm right back into being all frustrated with the Browns last night. And it's like, if I didn't turn this on, I wouldn't even care, and I usually don't anymore. Like I'll watch football and basketball if I'm out and about with friends, but I don't go out of my way for it. And I don't have cable TV here, and I don't pay for any streaming of sports except cycling, which you never get as mad about because even though I have my favorite team, EF, like I just enjoy a good race, so. Brett said Ann Arbor wants to be a bike city so bad, but isn't quite there yet. Interesting, because as much as I've stopped in Ann Arbor, I haven't actually cycled there that much. But I know there are a lot of trails outside, right outside of the city. But yeah, Dimitri. Yeah, if you've only used SRAM, you're not going to ever have. I don't think there's a problem. Uh, I don't think there's a problem with SRAM's quality control or anything. Coming from Shimano drop bar shifting, I just don't think SRAM is intuitive, and I don't like it. Whereas most things I really get used to pretty quick with muscle memory. Derpler said desktops are usually faster for the money. That is what I've stood by for so long. What Mac was charging, like what Apple was charging back in the day for their like 5 to 10 years ago. When I'd walk into like a store to buy a new PC tower, they'd be like, "What do you do?" I was like, "I'm a photographer," and they'd be like, "Oh, here are the apples," and I'm like, "No, no, 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 no." Like this thing is $4,000 and it doesn't have half the power of what I could get for 2,000 in this PC. That is completely flipped with, and again, I don't have the. I'm only 2 days in and I haven't done my editing on it yet. So, but from watching reputable reviews, this Apple Silicon is blowing away the PCs, like absolutely blowing them away. So, I have an RTX 3080 in my tower, and the thing is like the 3080 is bigger than the whole computing thing in the Mac laptop. And I'm watching videos of people just being like, yeah, like I set my laptop on top of this old PC tower and don't touch it. I just now got a dock and plug my monitors in, my keyboard, and there's people literally sitting there with their laptops just being the brain of the operation and not even using them as the laptop. Marquise Brownlee, when he got the M1 Max, it was outdoing his $15,000 Mac Pro, like Intel machine. Like, at the time, what would that have been, a $4,000 desktop outdoing a $15,000 tower? I mean, that's Mac versus Mac, but it was an Intel Mac. So we'll see. I haven't, like I said, I don't have the proof yet. I will in a couple weeks here, and hopefully it's what I expect it to be. Because I did not buy it for Mac OS. I did not buy it for the Apple the phone integration, which will be nice. I bought it because I'm sick of stuff stuttering and being clunky, and like even in like Camera Raw and Lightroom, when I'm sometimes now like my crop tool starts to stutter, my sliders start to stutter. I'm sick of it. Like there's no reason that should happen, and I'm just not seeing that happen with the Macs from what people are saying. So like I said, and on it like a well read and watched opinion, but not I'll I'll see what I feel when I see it all firsthand. So Muskrat said, "You read that Duluth and Superior has a population surge from people fed up with drought and fires." The Great Lakes region, man. I mean, we got all the fresh. I mean, what? Superior itself has 1/10 of the fresh water in the world. In a changing world, that's going to become some valuable stuff, right? So Nathan said he has all three brands. Campy is the best by far, but you like your SRAM over Durace. Yep. Personally, like if I was going to, like, not as you guys probably know, none of my stuff is ever new. So, but if I was going to buy a new bike, it would be GRX is what I would go with, Shimano GRX in some way. And I'm just saying this is just hypothetical. But Campy's, well, again, Campy's new electronic stuff has not been reviewed very well, even on the first impression videos. So it seems like they really swing and a miss by Campy for the first time. And then I have a friend who has the gravel groups, the Ekar, and I need to ask him again, Albert, who's been on the channel a bunch. He got a Speedwagon build up, and it came with Campy Ekar, and even a couple months in, he still wasn't quite digging it that much. Need to ask now, see if it was a muscle memory thing, but I know even Mechanic Yonda wasn't impressed, but I don't know. It seems like they've been as awesome as Campy's always been. Like the top of the line quality, the highest end group sets has kind of been slipping a little lately. But again, not firsthand experience. So Thursday Night Football is also on Prime. Yeah, I flipped on my Fire TV on Thursday to watch YouTube videos as I was winding down, and you know how the top bar on a Fire TV is like the advertisement stuff that I just skip right by to go to YouTube. There was like the football thing playing, but pro football, I mean, like I said, yeah, I'll watch the Browns if I can, but I'm not watching random games anymore. Sean said, I'd agree completely about SRAM drop bar shifting being very difficult to get used to as a Shimano guy. Yeah, I don't know if it's about being too. I just think it's the least intuitive out of, you know, of all the shifting out there. I think it's the least intuitive. You know, Campy with the thumb shifters before they got rid of them on the new one. It's intuitive. Micro shift is intuitive. I don't think the double press on SRAM drop bar levels is intuitive. So again, if it's all you had, you bought a SRAM drop bar bike. It's like what you've always used. You're not. It's going to be totally fine. Rick, I'm actually not using Lightroom. I say Lightroom because that's what everybody understands. I use Camera Raw, which is the exact same as the Develop tab in Lightroom. So I still use Camera Raw and Bridge in combination. I just like that. It's what I'm used to, but it's the exact same processing engine as Lightroom, and it's the exact same sliders, just with a different graphic interface slightly. So I use Lightroom on my phone actually when I shoot photos when I'm out and about and I want to do like Instagram stories or like a quick post. I send my photos Wi-Fi from my Canon to my phone, and then I use Lightroom. So how my shoot tomorrow got changed. It's still at the same time, just a different. Oh, even closer to the studio. Good. I'm shooting the Akron U mascot for a calendar we're doing, and one of them is going to be at one of our old drive-through restaurants. So. Hey, what's up, Railroad YouTube? Appreciate the push to get out there. Going on your fourth overnighting, riding 40 miles tomorrow evening, tomorrow evening, camping somewhere in mid-Michigan and 105 miles on Thursday. Oh, nice. Good luck out there. That's going to be a long Thursday, but Yenzer said, why would I get the GRX group set when I could just get 105 or Ultegra with a Goat Link? So I'm running 105 with the Goat Link on my Raleigh right now. But if because I guess what I'd be building if I bought a new bike would be something very like ATB, heavy gravel oriented. So I'd go with the GRX because I wouldn't need the 50 like I have on the Raleigh. So I guess in my mind, I'm thinking about the kind of bike I would be building if I got something new would be, which I'm not going to. I'm happy with the Gunner and the Raleigh as my combination. But yeah, if I was getting a new bike, I would go GRX. The ergonomics of GRX is better. I like the how the levers flare out even more and stuff like that. So plus, like I have the Road Link on the Raleigh, and there's more to break, there's more to bend when you have to drop down the derailleur on a piece of metal. Just more, you're adding more complexity into the system than just having a derailleur that natively hits the bigger gears. So yeah, it works for me. Using a 105 group set on my gravel bike works for me, but yeah, if I was buying, like I said, just buying a new bike and it was going to be outfitted some way, I would go, and like, again, money's not an option. I would be going GRX. An option. Money's not an object. Yeah. Yeah, Dimitri, I hate the double click. Doesn't make any sense to me. Unbalanced said if you don't watch random football games, you obviously don't have a gambling problem, which is very true. Yeah, I've never been a gambler. Yeah, I have friends who are gamblers, and so they watch every kind of game. But 105 isn't clutched, Jacob. Yeah, so GRX is clutched. 105 is not clutched. That being said, I don't know. Maybe it's because I run 2x, and you guys can tell me I don't know. Oh, yeah, Pudgy's not in here tonight. He would have a strong opinion on this, and so would Yonda. But not having a clutch and riding really rough stuff on the Raleigh, I don't have a problem. And I'm running on the Gunner because this is a flat bar bike, so I'm running a flat bar 105 groups, or not 105, flat bar Shimano group set, so XTR or whatever it is. This one has a clutch. I'm just not noticing the difference. It's also 2x, which could be, I don't know. But yeah, the whole clutch thing that people are talk so much about. I don't have a problem with 105 being not without a clutch on the rear derailleur. Like it doesn't. I don't notice excessive change slap. I don't. The chain doesn't. It doesn't fall. I don't drop it. I don't know if I've man, I have extremely rarely ever dropped the chain on the Raleigh, and I've dropped the chain on the Gunner more because it's a little more hacked together group set. It actually has a SRAM front derailleur on this, but everything on the Gunner is more of a like I said, hacked together build, whereas the Raleigh is just a 105 group set. Well, all Tegra levers because Pudgy actually sold them to me when I broke one of the 105 levers, but. Yinder said, "Oh, talking about the Goat Link. It's a longer version of the Road Link for mountain bike cassettes. Gotcha. Just a longer version. Yeah, I didn't know Goat Link either, but I assumed it was similar to the Road Link." Jacob said, "Becky has GRX 400 2x and it's clutch. She probably wouldn't notice." Yeah. Jacob said the only time she drops the chain is carrying the bike down 2 or 3 flights of stairs and she bounces the rear wheel off the stairs. Yeah. Oh, Pudgy's in here. What's up? You're here just grumpy. So just listen. Long time listener, first time typer tonight. So clutch is made for 1x. Gotcha. Yeah, it's more important on 1x. There's Dylan too. He said 2x clutch matters way less because the front derailleur acts as a chain guide. Gotcha. Yeah, so that's probably just for me. That's why I haven't noticed. But Sam said, just put on a chainstay guard if you're worried about the slap. Yeah. I think it's probably because, and maybe, and again, you guys could tell me, but especially on the Raleigh, being that I'm running like 50-34, I'm guessing like a couple decent sized rings probably even makes it less of a issue. But cheer up, sexy. Oh, Yender, you said you had to put a chain guide on your 1x because your derailleur didn't have one. I knew what you meant. Yeah, it doesn't have a clutch. Jacob said you were going to swap your 9er RLT to 2x, but then you started racing cross and you're a dumb single speeder at heart. Yeah, I was single speeding tonight. So, but my single speed is different because my single speed is made for commuting. I have it with that Nito Technomic stemp and sweep bar, so it's very upright. So when I have my camera on my back, because I'm going out not trying to get sweaty and not trying to be in an aggressive position. So. Jimmy Miller, you said it keeps chipping the paint off your chainstay. Like even that. But again, so I think just the 2x. Like I don't have, you could tell the Raleigh hasn't lost the paint on the chainstay. So I just think it is a road group set. It just doesn't have that much of an effect on the 2x, depending on the 2x. Dylan said 1x with no clutch sounds like a bag of bolts and nuts tied to the back of the bike. Oh, did I put this? There is something, speaking of bike parts and stuff. I know some of you guys have seen this, but I'll only be able to grab from Instagram because I'm in the basement. But give me a second. There it is. I do want to pull this up before I forget. So if anyone could make it, September 30th at 2 p.m., we're going to do a bike swap meet out in where this photo is, in the lot at Dirty River. And then I'm also going to do, me and my buddy Dave are going to do professional photos of your bike. So I think we're going to do a backdrop, some kind of thing, and bring some lights so we could do some like really nice portraits. So bike portraits, bike swap. And then we're also going to have a all city wake to RIP the party brand. So anyone can come and sell stuff, bring a table, bring a sheet, stuff to put your, parts out on. And then gonna our one guy, our one friend, one of the gravel badasses is busy that day, so he can't DJ. But maybe Brad would be into DJing or someone. But so yeah, have some beers if you drink, some music, and a bike swap, September 30th at 2 p.m. So this is linked. I have it in the Discord. Going to make an event page on Facebook or whatever. But yeah, wanted to make sure I remembered to bring that up for anyone who's still up in here. Oh, Jacob, so you had you frame for 100, so you're building that up as a single speed hardtail, and we're doing some endurance stuff like Mohican 100 next year. Nice. Someone was telling me Mohican is rough like Stroud's. Is that true? Chuck Rides Bikes asked, is this swap a cash only event? It just depends on who's selling. I'm going to print out a QR code for Venmo. So if you want a Venmo, you can. I'm going to bring a bunch of frames, stickers. I'll bring all my like merch type stuff. But so when you say is it cash only, it just depends on who you're paying. Pretty much, I know Tony's bringing a bunch of stuff. I'm pretty sure Tony has a Venmo. Yeah, just bring cash. Stop by the ATM on your way there. Cash always works, but not everybody has change either. So I don't know. Spelled meat wrong. Rick said take one of those RZ67s with a leash shutter and strobes. Yeah, that would be cool. I'm not going to, but it would be cool. I see Otis said bring cash for. I want to change that. I want to let him know. He said bring cash for pics of you and your bike. I don't want to. I was going to offer that as a free service, and then tell Otis that he just needs to give me a couple more months of free tune-ups. So I'd rather make that trade. That trade. Dylan said Mohican is similar to Stroud's, and it's rocky. It runs a little faster though. Some descents that feel like you're jumping off a mountain. Oh, okay. Yeah, because we were gonna ride Mohican, and then we got rained out when we were down there after Black Fork. Uh, I had no idea it was supposed to be that it was like rockier or rougher like that. I had I had no reason to assume this, and had just assumed it was flowy trails. So this is good to know. To definitely, I had the gunner with me last time, but if we go back, to definitely bring the gunner to have the 55s over the 42s. Dirty River will be open till 4, so that's why we planned it for 2 o'clock, Jay Dandy. So, so there was a couple hours if you get there to be able to buy stuff from the bike shop, and then like when we did the bike show last time, it's kind of just we don't really name an end time. It just kind of winds down on its own when everyone's like, "All right, let's go ride our bikes and go get something to eat and drink." So I think it'll just be that kind of vibe. You know, September 30th, it'll be getting dark a little earlier, so I think 2 to 6 ish would be the guess. But a couple of people have reached out, Chris FYB from out in Pittsburgh, and said, "Is there going to be a ride?" And it's like, yeah, but I didn't put a ride or a time on the flyer because it's like we'll just end up winging it. We'll end up going when everybody wants to go somewhere else. You know, ride to Magic City or something. But yeah, so 2 hours, 2 to 4, Dirty River will be open. Hey, what's up, Tony? I was just talking about you. Saw that you had mentioned that you have a bunch of stuff to sell at the bike swap. So, did Lanky move to Canada? Lanky, Lanky's off the bike for a little while, unfortunately. So, oh wow, Dylan, this is really good information. No one had ever told me anything. I guess like this about Mohican. We were down there. We were just gonna jump out on the trails and ride them. Like I, had, yeah, I had no idea. Oh, get this. So, if you are, I know some of you in here. There's a number of channel members still chatting right now. I made that new channel members video, which should go on at the break right now. And right before I started streaming, I'm like, oh yeah, put up the new channel members video that I shared with you guys to have for the break. And I'm looking, and it's not on the hard drive I plugged into my computer. So I don't know if I rendered it to my regular desktop hard drive and then uploaded it. I I know I had the portable hard drive I have down here up there with me, and I thought I specifically made sure I rendered it into the folder that I run all the stream videos off of, and it's just not there. So now I need to go back and figure out where I put that video and bring it back, because that was the whole point. The next time I stream, I have an updated members video. It's a new ride. It's got all the new members' names. Yeah, and that's the problem with not streaming for a month, because now I'm trying to remember, like, what was I doing? Was that a next step I never took? But whatever. I'll have everything sorted. Like I said, I'm getting back in the flow of things, so I'll get everything sorted out going forward. But I think I'm not even going to do a break tonight, because I think I'm going to sign off in a couple minutes here, because as I was just mentioning, I'm getting emails about photo shoots tomorrow, and I do want to get the video for tomorrow posted. Yeah, I don't want to go to 11 tonight. I got a little bit of stuff to deal with before I go to bed. So, yeah. I did just want to make sure I jumped on tonight no matter what, because it's been so long. I'm like, want to get this going again, and the best way to get it going again is just to do it, even if you don't have a good plan. But like I said, the title of the stream too is because I did want to bring up the bike swap. Just had a great time meeting some of you guys, like Bike Party, Sam out at Hodag. And then I know a number of people have talked about going out to higher ground. So I know Dylan's in now, and who else said they were going out to higher ground from the channel? I know there's a couple other people, but then Nutmeg. So people we met from Connecticut. So I'm excited to get out to the East Coast again and see a bunch of people. Again, if you're ever curious about the meetup stuff and you're not in the Discord, that's a great spot. You could post your own stuff if you're doing something. Like when people are asking in these comments, I see it, we talk about it, but I'm gonna forget it. That's why I like the Discord. It's a way to keep everybody in touch like that. Rick, you saw that video. It'll take me about 30 seconds to recreate. Yeah. Do you deal with text in Premiere Pro? No, it's not as, yeah. I'm not recreating that video. I'm finding the one I made. But Muskrat, the roof's all good. So we got that all done, and then when we got those hard rains after, there was nothing leaking inside anymore, thank God. I think we finally came up with a better way to fix it. So I have I have a flat roof here on the studio. It's a 1920s building, flat-ish roof, and it's the one side is much older, and it's like those, and the other side is where they've rolled out that rubber material and then sealed it, and it just had holes in it, and where it came over the gutter holes, and we had patched it a couple times, and the stuff we had used just degraded in the sun really, really fast. And so then we bought this like tape stuff, or I found it actually. I think it's a product that Rick must have, when he owned the building, photographed. And I put down this tape stuff, and then Dave like put down this roofing tar over it, and when we went back up to check it out, it looks really rock solid. So roof's good. And then also, I don't know, I told you guys I moved still thinking of doing like a retail space in the front of the studio. I moved where my bedroom was also, so while we're doing the roof stuff, I was also building a new living space into the studio. So that was a bunch of work. I just finally got it all painted, side facing the studio, so it doesn't look like anything. Doesn't look like there's anything back there. Put in like a barn door. Took one of the old 1920s doors from the basement down here and mounted it to one of those like barn door rails and put a little interior lock on it. So now I have like this uh, much better room here. I've lived here for however many years and I had no window in my living space. So that was part of the motivation was like kind of the retail space and where I wanted my room to be. And other part of the motivation was like having a window again, like next to my bed, which doesn't seem like a big deal, but has been like every time I go in there, and especially when the weather was still warm, like turning on the fan in the window and just seeing outside, waking up in the morning and know if it's raining. Right? Simple as that. So another huge project we've undertaken, and I've actually my window I have like storefront with those big glass windows. I've taken all the stuff down, and I've kind of set it up to look like a camera museum in there, like all my vintage cameras and all my vintage signage and all that kind of stuff. It's what right now it's just good advertising for the business because people are DMing me and asking about it as they drive by. So I've just kind of got this cool like showroom like that you could see visibly. So yeah, so the roof, the bedroom, the idea of doing something with the storefront in here, like, and I'll keep you guys posted too. I know this is mostly a bike thing, but I know there's camera people here. We're working on like a camera idea, and there's going to be open houses and maybe some art shows, and then maybe actual retail hours down the road. I think starting with the pop-up thing makes the most sense. Uh, I've detailed some of the build out on my photography channel, but I just if I haven't had time to live stream on a channel that's actually got a little pull, I definitely don't have time to make videos for the channel with 100 subscribers or whatever. So that's another winter goal is to get back into doing some of the photography videos for that channel. Maybe even making some nerdy Mac versus PC videos and stuff like that. We'll see how it goes. Just with winter and less time to be out there riding my bike and it being dark at 4:30, it's always easier to do the YouTube thing. So. Jeffrey Shank said, "Oh, back to bikes. Yeah, let's get back to bikes. All your bikes have different uh, different BBB ND group sets. Have no favorites because you always forget how they all shift. It's funny because I was like that for a long time. Like my vintage road bikes, down tube shifting, some with top tube shifting, most not even indexed. And I do have a Campy group set. I do have a microshift group set. But I really ride like two bikes way more than anything else now. So, and even the Raleigh being one of those, but also before I got the Gunner, when I was still riding one road bike a lot, was also still Shimano drop bars. So, like, still the Shimano drop stuff is like what I'm most comfortable with. But I hear what you're saying. I totally get what you're saying. Yeah. Yender said, "Is there a one bike per person limit for photos?" No, it's going to be a digital thing. I'm going to take as many photos as people want. So, you're not going to get them on that. So I want to tell Otis this too, and I haven't. I'm not going to turn around. I'm not going to turn around the photos like on site. I'm going to have to like. I haven't figured this out yet. Maybe I just have a clipboard, and I just keep people in order, so I could just. And you write down your email address, so I could just email you a cloud photo that you could download. So. But then it'll probably be everyone's photos. I'm not going to send you your specific photo. I'm going to send an email out to everybody on the email list, just like Hodag just did. There's a Google Drive folder with all the Hodag photos, and you could download the ones with you in it. It'll be like that style. That's how I'll keep the time down, Oh, and Ginger said, in all seriousness, you might have plans that weekend. We'll have to meet up again soon. Yeah, for sure. I'll definitely be back out to Pittsburgh, probably not before the winter, but in the spring or summer next year. Thanks, Rick. I appreciate that. I appreciate all you guys. Yeah, it's very nice. Hey, Ivan. Oh, well, Mexico City, nice. That's bucket list. My girlfriend's been to Mexico City. That's a huge. I've talked about it on the stream before, but a huge place I want to go. Capital of the New World for. Did we freeze? Let me know, because it just got told that OPS disconnected. But yeah, so the idea would be like doing kind of like pop-up art shows that people could sell their stuff, and then we'd have like the stuff we always have here. But yeah, I don't want to. Gallery life is not something I really want to do. Commercial photography is more profitable and up my alley for the work that goes into it. So I definitely know what you mean. All right, gonna end it for tonight. I'm glad you guys joined. I'm glad we got to chat again. Again, check out the Discord, and if you're trying to meet up, we got a couple things coming up. You know, one's in Akron, but I'll be doing the Pennsylvania East Coast swing here. Probably last big trip of the year. You know, maybe we get some good weather. Then there's an opportunity to pop out to Pittsburgh, down to Columbus, Toledo. Possible quick weekend trips, but yeah, that'd be it for now. But yeah, tomorrow Grand Island video will come out, probably early afternoon, and then beyond that, don't know. Got some plans. Oh yeah, got a video about bike lights I'm working on coming out, because got some pretty good stuff, and I figured I'd tie it in with a whole bike light video as we get into the dark season, unfortunately. All right. See you guys next Tuesday.
Okay. Okay, bye.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
this time.
Fitzwater photo.
Thank you.